Hi everyone, so following from, I did a 6x6 version of this pop-up step fold card, and so I thought I'd have a go at doing a 5x7 landscape. And so I've used papers from first edition, which is now DRK Crafts, but I think they still do some of the first edition pads. They haven't got this one. This one's called Believe in Magic. And this is from a long time ago, but I thought I quite like that, and it goes quite nicely with that die cut. So that die cut is from Coca Studio, the Christmas, and it actually comes as one. You'll see in the video, you'll see how it comes originally. It looks really nice, but so here it is. It's a good sized die, and it's all as one. I've actually cut those top section of lights off. But it's a really nice die. Love that font. So if you use my code ICE20, you'll get 20% off your order over on Coca Rosa Studio. So yeah, and then the mirror card is from DRK Crafts. It's the Dovecraft mirror card pack, rainbow mirror card pack. And I like it because it gives a little bit of extra bling. The glitter that I've used here is also Dovecraft. It's their Brights Glitter adhesive pack. So it's actually sheets of adhesive glitter. And I really like that because it die cuts so nicely. So if you think these are quite intricate, it's die cut really well. And I've actually die cut a whole string of lights out of the red, out of the teal, out of the pink, and then just cut off the ones I wanted and just overlaid them over the top of that teal die cut. But yeah, really like that. So you've got space on the back to write, lots of space on the back, folds flat and fits in a 5x7 card. So yeah, so that's the card for today. So let's get into it. Right, so for this card, you're going to need two pieces. One of them needs to be a 7x7 and one needs to be a 7x7.5. So the piece that is 7x7.5, we're going to score at 5 inches and at 7 inches, and we're going to do that on the long edge. So let's go at 5 inch and at 7 inches, and that's on the 7.5 inch edge. We're doing that. Okay, and those are just folded over as mounting folds. So you should end up with that. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side. Then on the 7x7, what we're going to do is along one edge, doesn't matter because they're both the same, you're going to mark at the top at 2 inches and at 5 inches, and the same on the bottom at 2 and at 5, and you're going to draw a line in between the two. Now I would do this on the wrong side of your card. So if you have a single-sided piece of card, then you want to do this on the wrong side because you're not going to see it. So you won't need to rub your pencil lines out because you're not actually going to see it. But it's just better to do it on the wrong side. So we end up with that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it round this way, and I'm actually going to put that up like that. And then we're going to go from 1 inch. So at 1 inch, we're just going to come down and we're going to score on this middle section here, like that. If you find it easy to just come top to bottom, you can kind of go lightly and then kind of stop. I mean, I have got a bit of a mark there. And then at 2 inches, we're going to do the same again. So I'm just going to bring it down till we reach that pencil line. Oops. And then we are just going to draw a line. If you find it easier, and I'm going to do this, I'm just going to make a little mark where my score lines are going to go. So I'm marking along this line here, the pencil line, at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 5 inches, and 6 inches. Okay, so then I can kind of find a ridge. So this is the 2 inch mark, so it's going to be here. So we're going to go in between, so you can see I've kind of a bit out there. And then we also want to score at 3 inches, and this is just top and bottom, so this is nice and easy. Top, and then also at the bottom up. And we're going to stop when we get to the pencil line, like that. Then we want to score at 5 inches, and this time we can go top to bottom. And then also at 6 inches, and this is just in the middle. So again, I'm just going to bring it down, and then I'm going to apply more pressure when I get to the middle. So you should end up with that. So now we're going to cut from the very first score line down to the last score line along that pencil line that we did. And we're going to do the same on the other pencil line from the first to the last. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this over now because I want to start on this, to focus on this side. So what we want to do is we want to turn it round so you've got the large, these two side panels here, you've got like a square bit, and then these are two long panels. You want the long panels to be at the top and the squares to be at the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this one here, which is going to be a valley, and then a mountain, then a valley, then a mountain. And then at the back here, we want a valley there, and then we want a mountain here. And if you kind of coax it, and then what you can do is once you've got it kind of in the right position, you can just kind of fold it flat and go ahead and burnish your lines. So this is when you find out how well you've actually measured and how well you've cut, etc. But you should hopefully turn it like that. I'm going to turn it over and just burnish these other lines as well. So you should end up with that, hopefully. So now I'm going to go ahead and decorate this front section, and then we're going to put it together. I've found that that is easier. What we're going to do is I've got all my pieces here, and I've got my die ready to go as well. So I've laid everything out, and we're just going to go ahead and put them on one to one as we go through. So we're going to start with these two pieces here. So these two pieces, you need two matte pieces that are 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, and these are portrait pieces, and two pattern pieces that are 1.5 by 2.5. So they're going to go there like that. You also need 4 pieces of matte that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 4 pieces of pattern that are 1.5 by 1.5, and they're going to go on there and also on the front here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick all of this down. Okay, so that's those pieces on. I'm going to deal with this middle bit next. So this piece is one piece that the mat is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and the pattern is 2.5 by 2.5. So that's going to go in the center there. And then we just need to do these pieces here. So I've got 4 pieces of mat, and these are 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4, and the pattern is 1/2 inch by 2.5. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down. So you should end up with that. So that's your front panel sorted. So now if you bring your other piece back in again, what we're going to do is we're going to keep this bit at the bottom. If we turn it over on the back here, you want to stick a matte piece that's 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and a white piece for your message that's 4.5 by 6.5 on the back. Obviously, if you want to stamp a greeting, do that before you stick it down. I'm going to have to add one later, I think. Okay, so I've stuck that down. So if we turn this over, what we're going to need to do is put some red tape along this section here. Okay, so the red tape's on there. So what we need to do is bring this bit back in again, turn it over, and on the back here, on this section here, along there and round there, we need to add either tape or glue. I'm going to add wet glue because it gives me like more wiggle room time. So just going to add some wet glue onto here. And then we're going to take this piece, turn it over, and you're going to line up this top edge and the side edge with each other, and all the way along like that, and just stick that down. Make sure that is well stuck down. And then if we push this up a little bit out of the way, what you've got here is you've got this part here, and then like a little section there, like a little valley almost. You want to stick this in there, because what's going to happen is when you fold it all down flat, that is going to stick on like that and just stick so that this lines up with the edge of that crease, so that fold line. So we're going to take the red tape off. You can take all of it off if you want, or you can just leave part of it on. I'm going to go for the complete taking off, which is a bit risky, but we're going to do it. That needs to go in there, and you just need to make sure that it rests in between this piece and that piece. So it needs to literally go in there like that. So you're going to put that in like that. Fold the whole thing flat, and if you can fold it flat but let this kind of still stand up, that helps. Then once you've got it flat, you can then go ahead and press down and stick it down, and that gives you your card. So then we just need to decorate, and when you stand it up, if you sort of wiggle it around a little bit, you can get it to stand up. If you want to, you can actually put another piece on the back, which then just means it's got like a 10-fold card at the end, but it's quite as long as you twiddle with it, it does stay up. So that's staying up fine. You don't want to use too flimsy card, you want to go thickish. I think the base that I used here was probably about a 280, maybe a 300, probably a 280, something like that. And then obviously all the layers and stuff you've got on it, because I mean this is 200, this is probably maybe a 280 kind of GSM for the Miri. And then we're just going to go ahead and decorate it. So I've got this die here, which is a Kokorosa Studio die. I just thought it was really fun. So I've cut it out of this teal Miri, and then I've also cut the Christmas section out of red Miri and just laid it over the top and stuck it down. And then I've used adhesive glitter sheets, the Dovecraft adhesive glitter sheets, and cut these out of 3 colours. So top and bottom, just cut them out of 3 colours, and then I've just snipped off the ones that I want and I've just alternated them. So that is going to go on there. If you want to, if yours is a bit too flimsy, you can add them on to acetate. The only other thing you need to remember is when you fold it up like that, it needs to fit in a 5x7 envelope. So actually this is not going to fit. So if I do add that there like that, it's not going to fit on the back. So I'd have to make a bigger envelope. So whatever you do, whenever you're choosing what you want to put on it, just make sure that when you fold it up, it doesn't go above this line here. I think that I will, just for the sake of this card, because I like that being there. I think, I'll tell you what I could do. I might snip off the lights here and here and put them at the back on that section there. So I've decided just to take this top section of lights off, and I'm going to put that at the back. So this one's going to go here like this, and then this Christmas bit is going to go on there like that. So you've still got the same kind of look. I've just separated it, and then that way it will fit into the envelope fine. So let's go ahead and stick these down. Okay, so there you have your finished cards. Obviously if you wanted to add more you could. I actually quite like the lights being on the second level, gives it a bit more dimension. You could add some more little lights up here if you wanted to. You could do all sorts with it. But yeah, really pleased with that. So that will fold flat now because of the way I've done that. That will fold flat and fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card. So that's good. And you've obviously got space on the back to write. Lots of space. So there you go. So make sure you go and check out Kokorosa Studio. Don't forget to use my code ICE20, which will get you 20% off your order. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I'll see you all again next time. Bye!